All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry for the slight delay in starting. So good morning. So we're going to get started, but first just to recognize Dr. Honorable Jeffrey Hanley, the Deputy Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, and the Minister of Education, Youth, Social Development, Gender Affairs, Aging and Disabilities, Ambassador His Excellency Michael Lin, Resident Ambassador, Republic of China, Taiwan, Dr. Hazel Laws, the Chief Medical Officer, thank you, Dr. Isles, Director of Community-Based Health Services, Mrs. Amanda Edmead, the Director of the Curriculum Development Unit, the Ministry of Education, Mrs. Mahasha Hutton, who's joining us by Zoom, is the Executive Director of the Healthy Caribbean Coalition, Mrs. Novelia Rollins-Wusu, the Coordinator of the Chronic Metabolic Disease Program at the Ministry of Health, Ms. Michelle Sutton, Health and Wellness Coordinator, Ministry of Education, Ms. Nicola Fraser, Health and Wellness Coordinator, Ministry of Education, Nevis, Mr. David Titley, the School Meals Coordinator, Ministry of Education, Nevis, Mr. Will Chen, Project Manager, Chronic Metabolic Disease Program, the Taiwan Technical Mission, Ms. Vera Edwards, Health Educator at the Ministry of Health, Pastor Lyndon Elliott, District 2 of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Mr. Bedford, the Assistant Principal of the Seventh-day Adventist School, our lovely, cute third graders from the Seventh-day Adventist School, thank you, and other representatives from the Ministry of Health and Education, other invited guests, members of the media, and supporters who are watching online. Good morning, good morning, good morning. That was a mouthful, so good morning. And thank you so much for taking the time to come out this morning to the launch of Just Eat Me Fresh, which is a short animation developed as part of a collaboration between Lake Health and Wellbeing, the Taiwan ICDF, and the Curriculum Development Unit, and it aims to promote healthy eating. Before we get started with today's proceedings, though, I'd like to invite Pastor Lyndon Elliott from District 2 of the Seventh-day Adventist Church to provide an opening prayer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. May we all stand. Good morning and Zhao Shang Hao. Yes. It's always a delight to be here whenever I'm called upon to pray. Let us pray. Almighty God and Father in heaven, we want to thank you for a brand new day. We want to thank you for keeping us safe during the night, and now we are here with this collaborative effort between the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of China, Taiwan. Oh Lord, we want to thank you for these initiatives. Eat Me Fresh. Oh God, may this program bring about a healthy nation, healthy people, healthy minds, so that together we can think together, we can work together for a better St. Kitts and Nevis. We thank you for everything, and we pray as we start that you would indeed bless us and keep us in Jesus' precious name. Amen. Amen. You may be seated.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So before we get started, I'm just going to provide a bit of background just to set the context as to why we developed the animation. So the animation Just Eat Me Fresh, which we're launching today, has been developed as part of our efforts to tackle the high rate of childhood obesity, which is a major public health issue in the Caribbean, with 1 in 3 children being overweight or obese. The rate of childhood obesity in the Caribbean is higher than the global average and is reported to be on the rise. Being obese and overweight in childhood is linked to the development of a number of health issues and also negatively impacts children's mental health. These health issues can follow children into adulthood, with children affected by obesity or who are overweight having an increased risk of becoming overweight or obese adults and developing non-communicable diseases such as type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cancer, and heart disease in later life. Childhood obesity is a significant challenge here in St. Kitts and Nevis as well. Our understanding from a PAHO report published some years ago is that 33% of secondary school children in the Twin Island state were overweight and 14% were obese. As mentioned before, we know that being overweight and obese is a risk factor for NCDs, and data has demonstrated that NCDs are becoming a significant public health challenge in the Federation, with over 80% of illnesses and deaths in St. Kitts and Nevis being due to these conditions. We must do something to prevent our citizens from dying prematurely, and one approach is to tackle childhood obesity and thus capture the next generation in the hope of preventing NCDs. So to combat childhood obesity, we have to ensure that children adopt a healthy lifestyle, and we also have to create a healthy environment at schools, in homes, and within society so that children can easily make healthy choices. So our animation aims to provide an engaging way to promote healthy eating in children, focused specifically on healthy snacking, because we know when we think about snacking, we think about unhealthy things. I'm sure the first thing that comes to mind when you think about snacking is corn curls, biscuits, chocolates, but we want to reimagine snacking and create a healthy snacking culture. So one thing we do know is that community-based initiatives like this are very effective at tackling important public health issues. But we do need to understand that to address childhood obesity requires an all-of-society approach. So we all have a part to play. So NGOs like ourselves, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education, parents, teachers, students, we all have a part to play. And because we have policymakers in the room, we know that evidence-based health policies are really effective at also addressing childhood obesity. And we know that we need policies that create a healthy environment where children can easily and affordably access healthy, nutritious food and physical activity opportunities. And we know that there are evidence-based approaches and policies that will enable us to do that. So with all of that being said, the plan for today is that we'll have some brief remarks from our very special guests, and then we'll have some presentations that will cover the use of the animation in the school setting and how educators can utilize the animation to engage students. And then we will hear from a partner, so we'll learn how we're going to use the animation in collaboration with the In Your Kitchen team. And then finally, we'll finish off with exploring the policies that are needed to create a healthy school environment. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome our first speaker, Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister for Education. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. All protocols observed, a very comprehensive list, I must say. But of course, allow me to recognize His Excellency, Ambassador Lin, and our colleagues from Nevis, and of course, all of the students from a school that is situated in my constituency, the Seventh Adventist School. Everyone, a pleasant good morning, pastor, education officers, representative from the ministry. I'm happy to be here this morning. I'm always excited when I'm around young people. I just was at one primary school and I went by the disabled group, and then now I'm right here. As Minister of Education and Youth, I'm extremely pleased and proud to partner with the Ministry of Health, Republic of China, Taiwan, ICDF, who are long-standing partners in education, and Lake Health and Wellbeing to launch the animation, It's Snack Time. The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, much like other countries in the Caribbean, is plagued with high rates of childhood obesity. According to data obtained by PAHO report, about 33% of secondary school students in the Federation were overweight and 14% were obese. Just these statistics alone raise serious concerns and make me believe that we have a major public health issue which has to be addressed in order to decrease the number of individuals who become stricken with non-communicable diseases, the NCDs. Therefore, today this ceremony signals a renewed commitment by all of those critical stakeholders to investing in our greatest resource, our people. To be more specific, our youth. Our young people are growing up in a world where they are bombarded by ads that encourage them to eat fast food, embrace designers' diet plans, and spend more money on sugar drinks. This law to eat fast food is undeniably evident in our community. Once ago, good food choices meant eating a balanced home-cooked meal which consisted of the right amount of starch, vegetable, and protein. And I must interject, I always boast, not as a mean of boasting, but I always say to people, I remember my days growing up, going to school, and had a mother who made sure that every day we had a balanced cooked meal. I don't know what it's like to have bread for lunch, and I went to school many times with persons who had that. But today, being able to eat out has become the synonymous of good food. In order to break this unhealthy cycle, we must begin to teach our children, who are our future leaders, educators, entrepreneurs, and consumers, to make good food choices. Bethany Frankel, an entrepreneur and author, stated, and I concur, your diet is a bank account. Good food choices are good investments. As a community, we have to renew our commitment towards helping our youth to make healthy life choices. The Ministry of Education has already committed to the improvement of our students' health by introducing health and wellness as a core subject in our primary school. And I must also indicate to us that we now have 2 certified chefs who are working at our school meals program. This move to helping our children understand how their bodies work through a program that focuses on health literacy and physical literacy is in keeping with UNESCO's Sustainable Development Goals 3 and 4. Good health and well-being are quality education, respectively. Therefore, this animation will become one tool in our educational toolbox, which can be used to further promote the culture of making healthy life choices. I'm eager to see the animation, as I can only imagine the numerous ways our teachers can use it to further engage our students in stimulating discussions about good food choices. Also, I further commit to ensure that the Ministry of Education and Youth continue to provide the necessary support for this project, as together we will engage our youth and their parents about their food choices with the aim of creating a culture of healthy eaters. And on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Youth, I express sincere gratitude to our partners for their continued commitment to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And this year is our 40th anniversary relationship with our good people from the Republic of China, Taiwan. In closing, I challenge all of us who in one way or another influence the life of our youth to readily climb on board this healthy lifestyle train and set the example for our children to follow. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Minister, for your remarks. I appreciate it. So next we have, I'm a bit short. Thank you so much. So next we have Ambassador His Excellency Michael Lin, who is the resident ambassador for the Republic of China, Taiwan. Thank you so much.
Dr. Jeffrey Henley, Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Education and Youth, Mr. I.B. Beckhoff, the Program Director of Black Health and Wellbeing, all the participants and officials from the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education, especially the young students from the Seventh-day Adventist School. Welcome to this launch ceremony, and it's my pleasure to attend another event of Inya Kitchen and the cooperation with the Leg and Health and Wellbeing. Being the first of its kind in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, Inya Kitchen has been working tirelessly in promoting awareness of NCDs and contributing to improving the well-being of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. After the success last year, the focus of Inya Kitchen's work this year turns to children and teenagers. The World Health Organization categorized obesity as a chronic disease. In the Caribbean region, childhood obesity is a major public health issue, and the rate of childhood obesity in the Caribbean is higher than the global average. In Taiwan, among the 10 leading causes of death, 8 of them is related to obesity. On the top of that, statistics shows that 42 to 62% of obese children were obese when they reach adulthood. Obesity obviously poses a highly risk to the health of Taiwanese people. Therefore, our government recognized that we have to formulate policy to tackle the childhood obesity early on. For younger kids, the project of health promoting preschool was launched in 2018 to educate kids under the age of 6 about healthy eating and exercise habits. For example, the project encouraged preschool not to provide snacks like candy or cookies as a reward, and not to provide sugary drinks. The project also promotes the concept of healthy eating plate, using colorful illustrations to teach kids the appropriate portion of vegetables, fruits, grains, and the proteins in each meal. For children above the age of 6 and above, under the Healthy Promoting School project, the Ideal Body Weight project was designed to promote healthy behavior and strengthening the self-management ability for primary and junior high school students to maintain their ideal body weight. By developing students' concept knowledge, standardizing the scope of campus drinks and the snack sales, the producing relevant teaching resources, the ratio of overweight and obesity among children and teenagers drops from 30.1% to 28.8%, while the overnight ratio increased from 12.6% to 13.4%. What is equally important is that the support of family. Healthy eating habits need to be supported by healthy environment. The habits and the knowledge that the students learn at school should also be implemented at home, and it needs the support of the family. The cooperation between school teachers and the parents is also crucial in this project. I know that the Inya Kitchen team has new initiative planned for this whole year, and the launch of its snack time is an exciting start. I would like to also thank the Ministry of Health for their support for this project and our project manager, Mr. William Chen. I believe that under the leadership of the Prime Minister and the new Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and their vision, the Inya Kitchen will keep on the path of helping the Federation for a better lifestyle. Also, we need all the stakeholders to get on board, especially the Ministry of Health, of Education and Youth. Therefore, I thank the Deputy Prime Minister for his kind remarks to encourage all the teachers and school kids to join this program. In closing, I would like to wish every success for today's event and all initiatives this year. Thank you and Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for your remarks. Much appreciated, very informative. So now it's my pleasure to share the animation with you, Just Eat Me Fresh, but just a few words about it. So this is a very short animation. It aims to be short, sweet, to the point, and very easy to remember and catchy. So it's a short animation that uses music to promote a culture of healthy snacking by encouraging children and their parents to opt for fresh fruits and vegetables as snacks, rather than ultra-processed, unhealthy snacks that are high in sugar, salt, and saturated fat. We hope that the animation can be used in the school environment, at home, and in the community to educate young people on the importance of adopting healthy behaviors. The animation forms part of a set of resources that we have started to create, which falls under our My Healthy Heroes program. And through this work, we're aiming to create engaging resources to support teachers and children in terms of learning about healthy eating. So I'm going to play the animation, and then right after that, Michelle Sutton from the Ministry of Education is going to share about how the animation can be used in the school setting. And then following that, the children will then come on.
Snack time.
Munch, munch, are you looking for a healthy kind of crunch, crunch? Something tasty just before or after lunch, lunch, but you don't have the time. There's no need to cook me cause I'm natural and fine. Just eat me fresh, and you will get energized. Just eat me fresh, and we will wake up your mind. Just eat me fresh, and we will slim your waistline. Just eat me fresh.
Go eat some veggies, go eat some fruits. The snack is healthy and tasty too. Go eat some veggies, go eat some fruits. The snack is healthy and tasty too.
So now Michelle is going to come and speak a bit about how you can use the animation in the classroom setting.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to adopt a protocol that has already been established by Ms. Bejo. And while we're setting up the PowerPoint, because I was using PowerPoint to help illustrate the teaching mechanisms in the classroom. I'm a teacher, so many of my presentations are going to be teacher-like. But, sorry, so I'll just turn to the side a bit. So ultimately, as we indicated earlier, the importance of education, being able to establish healthy eating practice for our children. The health and wellness curriculum has two phases, as Dr. Henley indicated, the physical literacy and the health literacy. Those are two major parts of our health and wellness curriculum. So when we're looking at this, developing teaching resources, we want to ensure that our teaching resources are locally produced and also reflects the needs of the curriculum in a short, compact, easy way, especially for our kindergarten to grade 3 students. Okay, so when we look at the curriculum education, the curriculum development unit, one of the major concepts within our enhanced curriculum is that we want to ensure our teaching and learning resources are very effective. We're going beyond the chalk and talk, as we traditionally say. We want to ensure that we engage our students in a holistic way. We want to engage our audio learners, our visual learners, our kinesthetic learners from a dynamic perspective. So when we're looking at what effective teaching and learning resource is, we have to ensure that we engage the children in these ways. So we have to ensure the classroom is engaging. Based on the animation, you can see once you start playing this animation in class, the students are going to be engaged. We have to create a positive learning environment. It's not about always coming down on children like, don't eat junk food, don't eat junk food. On the flip side, we're looking at positive reinforcement of behavior. We want to encourage what is healthy eating. Go eat some veggies, go eat some fruits. You can see the children singing this song, and when you're thinking about how I'm thinking about preparing for snack, or at snack time, when you want them to start considering, what am I eating for snack from a young age? Okay, it offers connection. And another thing, we want to offer a practical application in particular. So when we're looking at teaching, we just don't want a matter of just taking the theory. We want students to understand the importance of they applying their knowledge and their skills in the classroom to the behavior change they would like to see and they develop as they grow up. And then also within our curriculum, all our subjects in particular, we have a strong emphasis on teaching children the values and appreciating the skills and the concepts that they are learning. So again, through this animation, we want to ensure that the students are not just looking at, okay, I'm passing a test, I'm getting my assignments on time, and so forth. We want to ensure that they understand the value and appreciation of the content and the behavior and skills that we're teaching. And once again, through the animation like this, they are going to be embodying the actions and behaviors you would like to see when it comes to healthy snacking. Okay, so based on all of these guidelines of an effective teaching resource, we will say that the animation is an excellent tool in our schools. Okay, so going straight into the curriculum, for those of you who may not be familiar with the curriculum, the new health and wellness curriculum has two components. It has two divisions, sorry. It has the physical literacy and the health literacy. All our curriculums have essential learning outcomes. So what I have here are just the essential learning outcomes of 4 areas within our curriculum. We have 10 areas in particular, but the animation actually speaks to these 4. The healthy eating, and where we want to ensure that the students understand and categorize types of foods and drinks, and the importance of them in health and wellness. And as it says there, the different food groups, junk foods, sugars, water portion size, and so forth. We want them to understand from a young age what are foods, what's the importance of foods, and categorize them. Not just a matter of saying what is a protein, what is a fat, what is a carbohydrate, and so forth. Also understanding healthy food and unhealthy foods specifically. Okay? And then also from a young age, we want to ensure that they can identify healthy habits, which includes identifying, establishing, and maintaining healthy practices, okay? And again, as we know, habits are developed from very young. Okay, when we had discussions in the office when we were looking at developing animation like this and so forth, many of the adults, if we ask ourselves, how often do we eat fresh snacks? You know, many times we go to snack drawer in our house and so forth. Many persons are pulling on the traditional chips or the biscuits and so forth. So again, us as adults, our behaviors are reflecting our snacking habits from young. When we're in the schools, one of the things that we notice, our preschools have a lot of regulations indicating that children are not to bring certain types of snacks. The moment they enter primary school, as we said, this animation is catering for kindergarten and up, is the fact that they have access to our vendors. So we want them from a young age to start making conscious decisions about what habits are they developing. Okay? And then within the physical literacy, I don't know if you noticed in the animation, it's actually a dance as well. So the children will be demonstrating the dance that they were introduced in the classroom, but that's another important part of our physical education. It's not just sports. We want the students to understand the importance of engaging their body in a rhythmic manner, and the fact that dance is an excellent activity for healthy lifestyle development and cardiorespiratory endurance. And then the last component in particular that the animation relates to is Active for Life. Part of the curriculum entails that we have to ensure our children understand the importance of participating in a variety of activities so they could be active for life. So once again, as much as it's a short little animation, we want to ensure that it hits particular components of our health and wellness curriculum. Okay, so before we go any further, you can pick up the 2. Many of us who are adults in this room and you have young children, be familiar with the first icon, Cocomelon? Okay, I wish I had the animation. But again, when we're looking at teaching resources, we want to ensure that it's realistic. Almost everyone who has a young child in this class, at home, if the children were in here, most likely all of them would have said, Cocomelon, in the exact same voice. And so ultimately, Lake Health and Wellbeing as well has an excellent teaching resource called Healthy Heroes. So a part of the animation is utilizing their characters and so that we could say our children can now see an animation that is related to a series, and hopefully there'll be more coming. But ultimately, once again, working with them and partnering, we want to say what we have locally and that we could develop into our future Cocomelon. Okay? So now when we go further into animation, the influences of animation and songs is very vital to ensuring that we make our classrooms engaging. So when we look at all the learning tools, how valuable a learning tool is when it comes to rhythm, songs, and dance, this could go right through. Yeah, this, you know, so as we know, when it comes down to songs and rhythms, and especially preschoolers, we have a particular motivation, or from a pedagogy perspective, we utilize it for a reason. We want the children to be acting out. We want them to start looking at how they could use the words and form a language and so forth. But that's again why we chose a song, a catchy song. You know, the children find the songs and the dances very relatable to the everyday. Our children, as young as they are on TikTok. So when they start seeing, go eat some veggies, so go eat some fruits, we want them also imagining that your TikTok videos, in a sense, in a real life, can be healthy videos. You can do healthy songs. You can do healthy dances. Okay? And the last two on the screen in particular is that bite-sized learning opportunities. Not a lot of information coming at them because they're starting from kindergarten going up. We have to ensure the message does relate to the younger ones right up to kindergarten, grade 3, grade 4, when they're transitioning to upper primary school. So again, that's why it's very short, very catchy, and the words that we utilize actually embody what is it we want the students to develop. And repetition and rhyming words are key to marketing strategies. All the jingles you see on TV, everything is a repetition for a reason. And that repetition helps you to be able to remember the key concepts and the messaging. So again, we also took that strategy or that psychology, ensuring that it seems like a jingle, there's a lot of repetition, there's a rhyme, so that we know that the concept sticks. So when they go home, even their parents will quickly identify with a song and say, go eat some veggies, go eat some fruit, okay? All right, so the last little part is how we're going to use the animation, particularly in schools. Okay, so circle time. In lower primary school, kindergarten, preschool, we still have circle time. If we were to do a quick poll in the room right now, how many nursery rhymes relate to healthy eating? Can we think of any? Okay, so that's another reason why we want to ensure. So you have, if you're happy, you know, you clap your hands. And then we have the tidy up, Sean. Tidy up, tidy up. We have nursery rhymes to encourage healthy behaviors. But when we think about it, what rhymes do we have that encourage healthy eating? And Cocomelon does do a good job. They have a few little healthy songs in Cocomelon, but ultimately, these are things that we have to consider in education. Another way that we're going to be utilizing it is before break time, especially those little, the younger children. You play the song, it's like you have tidy up, everybody go tidy up. Before break time on particular days, especially we have Water Wednesdays, we might have Fruits and Veggie Fridays. So before that time, you play the song so children reminded that you want to go eat some veggies and fruits, something healthy and tasty too, okay? And then ultimately, lessons. Our grade 3 class, we had the opportunity to be exposed to the animations. The persons from Ministry of Health were able to go and engage the students, and the students loved it. It was a way that you feel, was an introduction to an exciting lesson. The lesson that they did that day was on healthy eating habits, right? But then they could go into other areas. They had discussed the circulatory system, the systems of the body, why it's important to eat healthy foods, and you actually navigate, in that classroom, we navigated through the body system so students could see why it's important for you to eat particular types of food and why junk food is not healthy for you. So from an academic perspective, yes, it's catered to kindergarten to grade 3, but our grade 3 students were satisfied and engaged in the lesson that was taught. And then the last picture there is a dance class. We do have PE. PE, physical education, is a part of our curriculum, and we're expanding beyond just the traditional sports. So again, the dance, the animation is also a quick little dance, and ultimately now, this is when the exciting time starts. Our grade 3 class is going to come in and demonstrate to us what they had learned during the animation in their class. Thank you.
snack time.
Munch, munch, are you looking for a healthy kind of crunch? Crunch, something tasty just before or after lunch? Lunch, but you don't have the time. There's no need to cook me cause I'm natural and fine. Just eat me fresh, and you will get energized. Just eat me fresh, and we will wake up your mind. Just eat me fresh, and we will slim you with lines. Just eat me fresh.
Carrots and veggies, carrots and fruits. The snack is healthy and tasty too. Carrots and veggies, carrots and fruits. The snack is healthy and tasty too.
Okay, so they're demonstrating their healthy eating habits. How do you guys like the lesson that Miss Vera presented to you guys? Thumbs up, thumbs down? How did you like it? Thumbs up? Excellent. Who's the person in the class who said that, oh, I feel like I'm eating KFC. I feel like I'm... Okay, because ultimately eating is something about, yes. So it's about eating for enjoyment and also making sure that we like it. So what we're going to do now again is let them sing the song without the music, right, teachers? And they're going to get, you want a little bit more space so you could do your dance? Okay.
I think they did a great job. They captured the messages, they got the dance and everything, and they were so excited. I heard that when they were in the classroom, they were so excited. They loved the fresh fruits and vegetables. So I think it's up to us really to ensure that we can create spaces for children where they can learn about healthy eating, but not just learn about healthy eating, enjoy healthy eating as well. So now we're going to have our next speaker, Mr. Will Chen, and he's going to talk to us about the collaboration that we're going to be starting between In Your Kitchen to sort of reach children and promote healthy eating in the community.
Thank you. All the distinguished guests and colleagues, please good morning. I'm sure that you already heard a lot from our ambassador talking about In Your Kitchen, this program. And I, on behalf of In Your Kitchen today, I still want to tell you about the detail of In Your Kitchen and to introduce how we're going to cooperate with its Snack Time initiative. So to tackle non-communicable disease, the Ministry of Health of St. Kitts and Nevis and Taiwan ICDF has developed the In Your Kitchen program as a chronic disease self-management tool. And the In Your Kitchen program is the first of its kind in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The goal of this new initiative is to teach persons to prepare and consume simple and delicious and healthy meals to promote healthy eating. In 2021, the In Your Kitchen successfully created over 25 cooking videos that air on various social media platforms and on local television channels. And if you want to see our videos, that you can simply log on Facebook and search In Your Kitchen. And in 2022, the Inya Kitchen program expanded its influence on the community with a number of interactive and engaging activities. Inya Kitchen launched its I Rep My Community cooking competition, first to increase the awareness of the importance of eating local as an alternative to processed food. Second, to demonstrate a variety of culinary techniques in the preparation of locally grown foods. And third, to stimulate community engagement. In 2023, this year, we hope to continue this successful trend by engaging our youth population on both islands. The goal is to reduce the incidence and prevalence of childhood obesity. For this cause, we have partnered with Leg Health and Wellbeing organization. You probably wonder why it's snack time. And when we think about it, we would probably wondering, we would realize that this is during those snack time moments that we all consume more than the daily recommended intake of fat and sugar and sodium, which is salts. The nutrients that negatively impact the most when children overconsumed. In an effort to further create a supportive environment for the uptake of healthy eating behaviors, this year, the Inya Kitchen will launch several competitions that focus on healthy habits. This competition will engage children at the elementary level and the secondary level. We will have essay competition. The essay competition will stimulate thoughts and conversation about the importance of healthy culture in our lives. Awareness should lead to positive behavior change. And also we have poster creation. This should reveal the creativity and display what and how our youth see foods, especially on snacks. This poster can be created, utilize various art mediums. And third, we have composition of poetry and rap song. It is important to create opportunity for all so that each person can explore new avenues in their creative process. And in the end, we have Junior Top Chef competition based on the theme, it's snack time, eat me fresh. This competition will stimulate and demonstrate youth talents in culinary arts. We have selected dates that should not oppose the academic schedule or curriculum. The first one is on the Monday, April 17th. The second one is on 1st of May. The third one is on 29th of May. And the fourth one will be on August 14th. The winner of each competition will go into the grand final competition, which will be hosted in Independence Week in September. And collection of recipes from the above competition will be published in a cookbook, and some of this will be featured in the 2024 Inya Kitchen calendars. And Inya Kitchen will continue fight childhood obesity. Inya Kitchen and Leg Health and Wellbeing remains committed to combating childhood obesity and reducing the impact of non-communicable diseases. We invite everyone to join us in these efforts. Preventing childhood obesity involves educating children on nutritious eating and promoting physical activities. It can be difficult to see children struggle with their weights, but taking action to create a healthy environment for them is crucial. Let's do the work so that will create a healthy environment where we all can be comfortable when we hear it's snack time. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Chen, for that. Great to hear what's happening within your kitchen. So our final speaker is going to join us by Zoom. So we'll, in a minute, just get it all set up. And this speaker is Mrs. Maisha Hutton. She's the Executive Director of the Healthy Caribbean Coalition. And she's going to explain to us what are some of the policy approaches that we can take in terms of tackling childhood obesity. So we'll just get this up, and then she will speak.
Hi, Abby. Thank you.
Hi.
I hope. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. So just trying to get back to Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So we've got your slides. We can hear you. We can see you. So you're good to go.
Great. I see that we're running a bit behind time, so let me know if you'd like me to zoom through and shorten the presentation. I'm happy to do that.
Go. I think we're.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you could shorten it a little bit, maybe.
Okay. Okay. So protocols having been observed, thank you so much for inviting us. And congratulations to Lake Health and Wellbeing and your team and partners for the launch of the animation, which is wonderful. And we really appreciate you inviting us to speak on why policy is important to support initiatives like the initiative you've launched today. And so when we're tackling obesogenic environments, we've heard all of the data about childhood obesity, the high levels, how we in particular in the region suffer with particularly high burdens. We need to think about how we can make the environments more supportive of behavior change. And we do this through regulation. There are a number of regulations to deal with obesogenic environments. And we're talking in particular today around settings and the school environment. And so currently in the Caribbean, and in reality globally, school settings are largely unregulated, and school administrators suffer with weak regulatory capacity. As a result, the food offerings in schools are dominated by high fat, sugar, and salt, ultra-processed foods. And there's also heavy marketing of these types of foods in school settings, and declining physical activity. I was really pleased to hear the previous speaker talk about just the need to move. So you notice we did not put PE, we talked about physical activity, just getting children moving in schools. And I included some images from some recent campaigns we have here, which are around school settings. The first one is around the food in our schools matter, and just the illustration of schools really have been really contributing factors in this emerging obesity epidemic we have with children. And then the images on the right speak to some of the kind of hypocrisies of these settings where we have environments that are supposed to be promoting good mental and physical health, really being areas where children have high access to foods which cause ill health. And so why do we need policy? Well, I think more than anyone, more than adults, children really need these supportive environments. And we know that because they don't have, biologically, they don't have the wherewithal to be able to say, I'm not going to eat this type of food when it is offered. And they have a right as part of the Convention on the Rights of the Child to really to grow and to thrive in health enabling environments. And so we as adults really it's incumbent upon us to implement policies which help them to make healthy choices. So when we speak about schools, we think about regulating the sale and marketing of those types of foods that we know lead to overweight and obesity, and as well providing water and other healthy food options. And that's really critical. We can't take away these foods without ensuring that we're replacing them with healthy options, and then supporting physical activity. And where are we doing this? We're doing it not only in schools and around schools, the perimeter of schools, but also at school-related events. And why we're doing it? Because these are recommended as evidence-based policies by WHO, PAHO, CARFA as part of their 6-point policy package, and they're recommended as part of a holistic package of scientifically proven policies that really lead to change in consumption. And so also, very importantly, they're supported by CARICOM heads of government. We know that in a series of communiques from 2016, heads of government have highlighted the need to ban advertisements of these foods to children. They've highlighted childhood obesity as a major threat to development in the region, called for physical activity, and most recently called for the implementation of health-promoting school environments. And this is a regional snapshot that we have at HCC of the status of implementation of school policies in the region. I don't really want you to pay attention to the details, but just to see that there's far too much red on this graph, right? We need to do better. And so I wanted to share with you all some of the, where we are in the region in terms of these policies and some of the countries that are moving ahead. And Bermuda was the first country in the region to implement this type of policy, and that was back in 2006. And it was done by the Ministry of Education and the Department of Health. So again, that partnership between the two ministries. And the policy really states that vending machines and cafeterias will only provide unsweetened water, milk, and 100% juice, and healthy foods in their on-school premises. Importantly, they encourage parents to also ensure that kids only bring these types of foods, and it was implemented in partnership with civil society organizations. So very much very much similar to what's happening in St. Kitts with Lake Health and Wellbeing, working with a number of partners to implement these policies. In Trinidad and Tobago in 2017, the Ministry of Education and Health, again, a combined effort of these two ministries, introduced a prohibition on the sale and serving of sugar-sweetened beverages in schools. And this was really, again, this was an all-around immediate ban in these. It was not a staggered implementation. It was announced, and subsequently these items were removed from schools. So anything with added sugars, no drinks with artificial sweeteners, and I think that's also important. And those beverages that were permitted are also listed here on the slide. Importantly, and very unique, is that we do have evaluation data from Trinidad showing really good compliance in 2019, 2 years post-implementation, immediately before the pandemic. And this is a bit of a closer look, actually, I'm going to jump ahead here, to Trinidad and Tobago, the evidence, just to really see that they achieved a 99% compliance for primary schools, 97% compliance for secondary schools. And there's a breakdown below on the bottom which shows you where they had the most success. Soft drinks is where they had great success, energy drinks, both for primary and secondary. But you'll see there was a gap with juice drinks, really highlighting for us and other countries across the region thinking of this type of policy that there's effort needed in the area of juices. Jamaica has interim guidelines, which were announced and implemented in 2019, and they had a staggered approach. They prohibited the sale and serving of juices or sugar-sweetened beverages, which met these certain criteria. And the phasing was a kind of a strengthening of the criteria over the period from 2019 to 2023. And in 2023, today, now, the limits in Jamaica are 2.5 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters. And that is currently underway. I think importantly here, they're working on their national school nutrition policy, and that should be on the books soon. Other countries in the region are Bahamas, Grenada, and Belize. These have announced, but they've not implemented, so some work there. And I think COVID, in all fairness, really sought to kind of derail these initiatives. So many countries are getting back on track as we move back into school and some sense of normalcy. I wanted to highlight St. Lucia and Barbados, which are very much right now in the midst of moving ahead with their school policies. St. Lucia has a ban on the sale of beverages with high sugar content. This was announced again in partnership between Ministries of Health and Education. And it was, the cabinet paper was approved in April 2021. It's not yet implemented. Their policy really seeks to ban the sale and marketing of beverages. Again, they're using a Jamaica approach, 5 grams per 100 milliliters, so not a complete ban like what we saw in Trinidad. They have paused their implementation to really focus on public education, which is really key, and another important lesson learned. In Barbados, they are also in the process of implementing their national school nutrition policy. That is underway. They're currently working with schools to determine how they're going to approach implementation. Elements are implemented. The elements which are not implemented yet are the actual removal of these types of beverages from school settings and the prohibition of the marketing. Some of the challenges and lessons learned as I seek to wrap up is really thinking about your regulatory approach. Are you going to have a staggered approach, or are you going to remove the beverages kind of all one time? What about your policy coverage? Will you just cover sweetened beverages, or will you try to cover kind of a broader range of ultra-processed foods? And importantly, when you're doing that, we need additional tools such as front-of-package warning labeling, which really helps with the implementation capacity and allows the schools to identify which items need to be regulated. In Jamaica, they've used a registry of permitted items, which has been really helpful. Vendors can go and register their items with the Ministry of Health and Education, and those are the items which are permitted in schools. And then importantly, identifying a whole option of healthy food options. Where does the ownership lie? What's the resulting division of labor? Who will monitor? And then capacity to implement, monitor, and evaluate. Engaging vendors, we know that that's very much a part of our culture. How do we do that? Funding realities, there are, many times schools are funded by fast food or ultra-processed food entities. How do we deal with trying to kind of replace those options so that we have healthier private sector entities filling those funding gaps? Managing a conflict of interest and industry interference related to the previous point. This also serves to encourage innovation in the private sector. developing foods that are low in sugar, salts, and fats, and really are healthier options for our children. And importantly, the last point is public support. So how is HCC supporting countries? We're continuing to work with policymakers to build demand, developing tools. We've got legislative model guidelines and tools, actual model legislation that countries can use, creating networks for sharing and promoting special studies to evaluate the policies. And I hope I was quick enough. I am wrapping up. These are some images from our campaign that we launched back in the last quarter of 2022. It was a regional digital campaign, The Food in Our Schools Matters. And we were really, really proud of it because it was a coming together of civil society, OECS Commission, PAHO, CARFA, the Food and Agriculture Association, FAO, and UNICEF. So it was really a real coming together of regional entities around this idea that we need to regulate the food in our schools. Thank you so much for having us, Abby and team.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Maesha, for your presentation. Very comprehensive and a really nice overview of the policy approaches that we can take in terms of creating a healthy school environment, but also learning from what other countries across the region have been doing in terms of policy approaches. So we've come to the end of our event, so it just really leaves me to thank everyone. So I basically would just like to start by thanking everyone who participated in today's event. So I'd like to thank Pastor Lyndon Elliott. Thank you so much for doing the opening prayer. I'd like to thank Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley for taking the time to come and be with us today. I know you're very busy, so we appreciate your time and for providing some useful insight into what the Ministry of Health is doing in terms of creating a healthy school environment. Thank you so much, Ambassador Michael Lynn, for also taking the time to be with us today. We know your time is precious, so we do appreciate it and appreciate your remarks. And we'd like to thank the students from the Seventh-day Adventist School, the third graders. They did a wonderful, wonderful job. So thank you so much. I know it probably took a bit of time to get all of that together, so I appreciate the teachers and staff who also helped with that process. I'd like to thank Michelle Sutton for working with us throughout this whole process and coming up with the concept as well for the animation. And it's just wonderful working with Michelle Sutton from the Ministry of Education. And thank you for your presentation today. It was wonderful, very informative, and gave us some insight into how the animation can be used in the school environment. So thank you so much. Thank you to Will Chen for all your support. Will is wonderful. So thank you so much, Will, and for your presentation as well, and for taking us through the work of the In Your Kitchen and how we can work together. So thank you so much. Thank you to Maesha Hutton for her presentation on policy approaches to tackling childhood obesity. It's a very useful presentation to give us an idea of the types of policies that we should be considering. We're also very grateful to the Taiwan ICDF generally for the support they've provided in enabling us to develop this animation. We're truly grateful for that type of support. We appreciate the Ministry of Health's Health Promotion Team and the In Your Kitchen team for collaborating with us. We have a really good working relationship with them, and it's always a pleasure working with the team, so thank you so much. And we're looking forward to working with them as we try to reach young people across the Federation and create a healthy environment for them. We'd like to thank Ms. Blanchett, the principal of the Seventh-day Adventist School, for her very warm welcome and the enthusiasm of the third grade class. And we're very grateful to Plantistique for providing delicious snacks, healthy snacks, which you'll be able to sample today, so thank you. Thank you to ZIZ and I think the SKN Media Education Unit for being here today and for covering the event. Thank you to all of those that are watching online. And last but definitely not least in my book, thank you to Oyemi Beho for creating the animation. So he was an animator, so he created the animation. And I think it's really nice that we're able to create animations like that right here in St. Kitts rather than outsource, so that's really great. And finally, thank you to everyone for coming today, for your support. It was a pleasure, and we appreciate your presence, so thank you so much. Thank you.
It's snack time.
Munch, munch, are you looking for a healthy kind of crunch, crunch? Something tasty just before or after lunch, lunch, but you don't have the time. There's no need to cook me cause I'm natural and fine. Just eat me fresh, and you will get energized. Just eat me fresh, and we will wake up your mind. Just eat me fresh, and we will swim you with lines. Just eat me fresh.
Go eat some veggies, go eat some fruits. The snack is healthy and tasty too. Go eat some veggies, go eat some fruits. The snack is healthy and tasty too.